What is up, everyone? The UFC 311 press conference just wrapped up, and one of the more entertaining press conferences I've seen in a while. Really, really jazzed for this card going down on Saturday. Boy, a lot of Eastern European tension going on in that building there. Obviously, your main event will be Arman Tsarukyan versus Islam Makhachev, and Merab versus Usman. Four fighters from different sides of the Caucasus Mountains. Islam and Arman are very respectful to each other, which you gotta love. I love it. This is the kind of stuff I like to see inside of combat sports. Two guys at the top of their game in their prime, not trash talking each other, just gonna put on a really good show, and I think that Islam, he's a far cry from where he was in the beginning of his career, like a shy guy. Also, there's a language barrier with Arman as well, but you can tell that both men are just supremely confident in their abilities. So I'm really looking forward to their first fight. Was fantastic, and this one is going to be as well. And even in their face-off, they're just there to do business, nothing else. On the other hand, Usman and Arman are not very respectful of each other. Usman hilariously threw out because Merab was like, "Oh, Umar, he doesn't even represent Dagestan. He's representing Russia." And it's like, okay, but Umar. Oh my gosh, not Usman. Umar threw out a good one. He was like, "Hey, if you represent Georgia so hard, why don't you live there?" And Rob looked pretty flustered with that one, and that was pretty hilarious. Umar is he's got that classic, like Khabib level. Like, he's obviously not on the level of trash talk like that Khabib was with his weird broken English, number one bull crap. You know what I'm saying? But he's definitely got Merab not knowing exactly what to do promotionally. And Merab is he's an unhinged man. And it's really shown in the build up to this fight how, I think a lot of fans already knew how crazy Merab was, but this is just kind of like accentuating it to a point where I'm even like, dude, Merab is losing his mind right now. So yeah, there's a lot of tension between those two, mostly on the Merab side of things, right? Yuri Prochazka has a shaved head, and it's for a good cause. There's a girl who has cancer, and he's going to fly her out to the event, which is sort of a weird thing, in my opinion. Like, girl has cancer, you're going to fly her out to a UFC event? Anyway. But it's a good cause. Hilariously, Dana White, good for him for matching the donation of $50,000 that Yuri is making to this girl. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna match it. And it's like, that's cool. Dana's obviously a millionaire, and he's got to make some. You got to get some tax write-offs, right? But he could donate a lot more. But I guess the one thing that I'm like, because a promoter did ask him about moving the event and if there was any risk of with the fires moving the event, and he was like, no, there was never any concern of us moving this event. But and I don't know, I want to see Dana White donate some money to the cause, right? And he didn't make any mention of that, so whatever. He's a man, he can do whatever he wants with his money. Most of the time that's underpaying fighters, but I don't know. To me, that was kind of in bad taste to some degree. Hopefully they'll announce it at some point, but yeah. And speaking of Yuri, his opponent Jamal when he was introduced, this man got so many boos. Everybody hates Yuri, or everybody hates Jamal Hill, man. Everybody hates this guy. But he was respectful of Yuri, and I'm that's actually good to see that it tells me he's focused on the fight and on Saturday night. And that's another one I don't really know which way to lean. Like I'm picking Yuri, but a focused fighter is a dangerous fighter, and Jamal Hill looks very focused to me. To me though, one thing I noted was that Merab, and we always say this in the lead up to a fight, but Merab looks really drained in his face. He kind of always does, but you can tell that he has to cut a lot of weight to get down to 135. And I guess just the fact that he's such an insane person and being drained, it kind of accentuates it, right? It's funny, Umar is such a cool, calm, collected dude, and Merab is like a literal insane person. So it kind of reminds me a lot of this show and the dichotomy between Hank the Tank and I. But yeah, Renato Moicano, when he was asked a question, he quickly pivoted to politics and just calling out Gavin Newsom hilariously, just saying, California is a beautiful place, but how about this Gavin Newsom? He sucks, right, guys? Hilarious. Honestly, don't expect anything less from him, but this main card is stacked. I'm really hyped for this Saturday. RDR versus Holland is going to be actually, by the way, RDR and Holland only got one question each. It tells you kind of like how hyped up the headliners are. That they, most of that was centered around the beef between them. A lot of media members trying to fabricating a beef between Islam and Arman, but they're questioning. Again, these guys are very respectful. They don't have any beef. It's all just professional mixed martial arts to them. I love it. But that fight, RDR versus Holland, man, to me, that's too close to call. I'm leaning RDR. I think he has a little bit more wrestling skill, grappling skill. But it could go either way, honestly. I'm really excited for that fight. In my opinion, Beneil versus Renato, I think, and especially Beneil's energy right now, I think he's just going to get destroyed by Renato Moicano. Sticking with the knockout of Renato Moicano, and that'll be a fun fight, though, as long as it lasts. Beneil, he's not completely washed, and he will come out hot. But I don't know, man. I think that Renato Moicano is going to beat him really bad. Usman, he's cool and collected. Merab seems like an insane person. And Islam versus Arman, man. I just can't wait for that fight. So that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of what took place during the press conference. Let me know what your guys' thoughts in the comments. But yes, I'm very much looking forward to this main card. A lot of good fights on it. A lot of good bookings, close matchups. I cannot wait for this Saturday. So there's a quick little press conference breakdown there. Let me know what you guys think. And I guess that's it for me. So everybody have a fantastic night. We'll see you guys on Saturday. Tomorrow, there's one championship, Friday fights in the morning. That'll be always a banger. And then there's a UAE Warriors card. It'll kind of run probably a little bit into one championship. But regardless, I'm planning on doing a fight companion for that. So catch me early in the morning. I think it's 8 in the morning, my time, 10 in the morning, East Coast time. So we'll be there for that. But like I said, man, that's it for me. Have a good night, everybody.